24 January, the Azerbaijani delegation has announced its resignation from the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe as a sign of protest. The speech read out by the representatives of the delegation at the PACE meeting reads as follows: "Faced with the current unbearable atmosphere of racism, Azerbaijanophobia, and Islamophobia in PACE, the Azerbaijani delegation has decided to terminate its cooperation and presence in PACE until further notice." One of the participants of our country's delegation, MP Nigar Arpadarayi, has commented on the situation to Baku TV.
Today, the Azerbaijani delegation in PACE has made the collective decision to resign from this assembly because we do not accept the situation here. The statements voiced by some members of the Parliamentary Assembly are absolutely unacceptable for us. However, one thing should be understood. That is, on the basis of an international agreement, a country joins an organization and assumes a set of obligations. That is, the point of such agreements is that the state, on the one hand, undertakes a set of obligations and, on the other hand, benefits from it. It is a two-party process. It may take the form of additional security or cooperation guarantees or support for the country on important issues. For example, in the case of Azerbaijan, the main factor for Azerbaijan's accession to the Council of Europe was the Karabakh conflict. Due to the fact that the main mission of the Council of Europe is human rights, it was important for Azerbaijan because this accession promised Azerbaijan that with its help, the Council of Europe can bring the issue of Armenia's violation of human rights, occupation of Azerbaijani territories, and ethnic cleansing to the forefront. These issues were very important for us, and we constantly raised them. I can proudly say that Azerbaijan has always honored its obligations. That is our attitude towards international law. It has always been that way. Our attitude has always been very constructive. But what do we see? We see that the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe has paid no attention to the plight of Azerbaijanis who were expelled from their ancestral lands. We had no support from PACE when we liberated our territories from occupation. We are constantly faced with double standards, with intrigue, with statements that we are absolutely not ready to accept. The Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe has ceased to be a platform for dialogue, and this is what we have realized, what everyone must realize indeed. We see constant disregard for international law. It should be noted in general that PACE has weakened very much in terms of resources, expertise, and the legitimacy of the Council of Europe, and PACE has also declined. Bad actors within PACE have started to use this organization as a tool to carry out their own agenda. That is why I believe that this organization is in dire need of serious reform. We have mentioned it many times in our speeches. If the Councils of Europe doesn't become more inclusive, it will turn into a small Christian club. That is why our delegation has decided to leave this session. As of today, we are suspending our activities. I think this is the correct decision because it is unacceptable to speak in the language of blackmail with Azerbaijan.